Welcome to Speak Your Truth with Charlie. I am Charlie. I wanted to basically share some of my thoughts on the Tory trial that's going on against the state. And basically, um, before I start that though, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the gentlemen that I have been watching over these weeks and some of them for years now. And I wanted to give them, basically a shout out. House of Aaron, I love you. Armon Wiggins, I just actually got familiar with you within this week with doing all of the trial and, talking about Tory Lanez and Meg the Stallion. And so I like how direct you are. I like how informative you are. So I want to give you a heads up for that. Rodney the Voice, I always listen to you because you're like the realest that real could be. And I love that. And you give it from your viewpoint and you don't let anyone taint your image. So keep up the good work. Kempire, I love you because you're very detailed like me. I'm a Virgo, you're a Taurus. So I know how that is. We do our fact checking, and I love that. Um, Quentin, aka Funky Dineva, love you too. Jason Lee, I also love your commentary as well. And some people are probably going to be thrown by that because, you know, you can have a hit or a miss, Jason, with a lot of, different fans. And you know why? Because, you just tell what's on your mind. And a lot of times people can't handle the truth, you know? So I wanted to tell you, keep up the good work as well. DJ Richie Sky, you're another one that I love as well. But in particular, in regards to this trial, I know House of Aaron, Armon Wiggins, I loved your detail from you actually sitting in the trial. I believe that was Friday. Love that. And King of Reeds, you also mentioned a lot about the trial. And so those were three that I was reviewing actually before I started writing some things down that I wanted to speak on. Okay. So let's get into it then, right? So, first, let me start by saying I have reviewed a lot of different information um, over, I guess, these last 2 years that we were waiting for this trial to happen. And my personal opinion is that Meg the Stallion was shot by Tory. And I feel that it has been somewhat of a cover up, and so we're going to get into some of the things that Armon Wiggins said on his show because I found it very informative and very direct and to the point. And some of the things that he mentioned, though, I want to put a little disclaimer. I don't totally agree with, but I respect his opinion, you know, and we're going to get into that, okay? So to me, with listening to Armon Wiggins, as far as so many people that I've heard, even on, you rarely heard it on the news, but this was the most detailed and descriptive report I have heard. Now, if you want to see this full video, I can put the link in the notes so that you guys can go and follow that. And also, like and subscribe to his channel as well. And I can't play the entire video. However, I will play some of the audio so you guys can hear some of the things that he said in the video, okay? And let's go ahead and get into that. So one of the things that he stated in the video was about the 80-minute. I don't know if it was a video or audio that I believe it was a video though that they played in court. And he said that Kelsey was very descriptive in the audio. She didn't seem nervous, especially since in court she has been acting like she didn't know anything that happened. She was very detailed, said everything that went on. She said specifically in the video that Tory was the one that shot Meg. She also sent texts to Meg's bodyguard to basically let him know that Meg was shot by Tory, and they have text messages of such. So she was very descriptive in her 80-minute video that she did for the prosecution. Okay, so now the fact of her acting like she don't know what's going on is oblivious to me. And I think it's oblivious to a lot of other people as well. So, which means that the fact that Kelsey knew more, and let me go back a little bit. Those of you that don't know, Kelsey is Meg Thee Stallion's ex-best friend. Okay, so what I was getting ready to say was that Kelsey now may have allegedly perjured herself and got perjury charges, being that she completely lied on the stand. Okay, so that's the position she put herself in. Now, it seems to me, by what all I've heard, is that Kelsey is trying to now protect Tory, to a sense, when she was like, I plead the fifth, I don't know this, I don't know that, the previous day on the witness stand. Now she's like, not really backtracking, but it's like she plead the fifth, right? And now it's like, you're taking up for this man that's trying to throw you under the bus, which I find hilarious, because Tory's defense is basically, was it really me that shot Meg? It was somebody else there. So he's literally trying to throw you under the bus, and you're acting like you don't know what's going on, not trying to save yourself, which I find hilarious. Okay, so there's that. Right? You're not trying to save yourself, and you could go down for this if they don't get him on the charges. Because remember, well, you guys don't know, but I was watching Armon Wiggins show, and basically there's no prints on the weapon. There's no prints on the weapon that particularly belong to Tory. Right? Then there's gunshot residue on Tory and also Kelsey. So they're the two that's there. So if he's saying he didn't do it, then who you think they're going to point the finger to? Kelsey, right? So it's just like ironic to me that she's trying to protect him because she's mad at Meg at this current moment, but you're not protecting yourself, girl, because you're putting yourself out there. So I find that a little, you're trying to be loyal to somebody who's not even trying to be loyal to you. And that's the whole reason that now you're not talking to Meg, because you feel like she didn't have your back. That was one of the things, too, that Armon mentioned in his show, is that she didn't feel like Meg had her back to protect her from all the things that were coming, because Meg went online and said that, never came out and said, Kelsey didn't shoot me. It was Tory. She said Tory, but it was later on down the line. So she didn't particularly say it was Kelsey. Kelsey didn't shoot me. So that's why Kelsey is mad at her. She said it wasn't behind the intimacy that she was having with Tory behind her back. That was not it. Okay. So follow that tea. So I found that interesting. Another thing that Armon Wiggins brought out was that Tory allegedly shot at Meg 5 times. Okay. When she was walking away. That's when he shot at her. So that in itself, to me, should prove that Meg was de-escalating the situation because she was walking away. It's just like when you're driving a car, right? And you have this automobile that can hurt people, right? And you're behind somebody and you bump into their rear of their car, you have the burden of proof to plead your case, because automatically, if you hit somebody, you're at fault, right? It's the same thing. Her back was turned and you started shooting at her. For what? It doesn't matter what conversation or argument y'all had prior to that. At that moment, she was walking away, which de-escalated the conversation, the fight, the whatever. You escalated it when you pulled that trigger and shot at her 5 times. Tory did. Okay. And then he also mentioned about the firearms examiner, which I thought was really great information. I want to play that particular part for you guys so that you can hear that for yourself as well. But I definitely suggest watching his whole show. And like I said, I will put the link in there as well, because a lot of this is his content, so I don't want to impose on it. But I really thank you for the content that you gave us, Armon, and gave me, because it was amazing content. You were very detailed. I could tell you were taking notes, and you did your thing. So I want to give you your props with that. And any person that I ever talk about on this channel, I will definitely give you your props. I'm not a hater at all. I just, applaud all of you that actually gave us some information that we could work with, because it seems like so many things have been, so tainted. Okay. So one thing that Armon said, though, that I didn't agree with, and my apologies, brother, but I have to let you know how I'm feeling, okay? You said that Meg was grimy and a dirty girl. And personally, I don't believe that, okay? I don't believe that someone's grimy because of them going through a situation. Now, let me give you some backstory as to why I came to that opinion, okay? Now, Armon feels that Megan is grimy because she basically left her friend out there, right? She stopped talking to her friend. She left her friend out there to deal with this whole celebrity lifestyle. She had other people to contact her to basically tell her to move to Houston. And the friend I'm talking about is Kelsey. And she basically didn't talk to her. But you have to realize this girl just got shot 5 times. She went straight to the hospital, right, to get operations. She still had fragments that are still in her foot. If I was shot at 5 times and these people were supposed to be my friends, people that I was kicking it with, right, I wouldn't want to be around nobody. That's just me. I would need to take some time while I'm in the hospital, think about who I'm associating with. Is this really good for my career? Is this really good for my mindset? Is this really good for my personal life? And take a step back. That would be me, right? So I could understand her not really talking to her friend at that moment. Now, this is where me and Armon differ. Now, he said that when Meg was ready to talk, she wanted her friend Kelsey to go on the internet and basically say that Tory had did it, right? But Kelsey got an attorney that told her not to go on the internet and basically acknowledge anything. So she wouldn't do that for Meg. So Meg had a problem with that because she felt that wasn't showing loyalty. Now, going back to that, Armon said, well, look, you're not showing loyalty either. You're sleeping with the man that I'm sleeping with behind my back. So how is that loyal? Well, remember, Kelsey didn't have a problem with that. That wasn't her problem. Her problem was loyalty in the friendship. So I think Meg had a viable reason for not feeling like her friend was loyal. She was in the hospital dealing with all this pain, dealing with surgeries and all of that, behind somebody that her friend was messing with. And she was also, messing with. So I could understand that. You guys give me your view as well because I want to hear it. And so to call her a dirty girl because of that, it was brought out that both of them have slept with the same men multiple times. So that would make both of them dirty because both of them, the DNA is on the multiple men that they slept with. I'm just saying, not to be too descriptive, but I'm just saying. So we're going to put it out there that one is grimy, the other one is grimy. And all this time is, tell me if I'm true, but wasn't Tory putting it out there that he didn't shoot nobody? She had glass in her foot? Or was that Meg that put it out there? I could be wrong about the glass in the foot. He was having all these different rappers saying, he's innocent and all this other stuff. But somebody shot her. Because you don't get shot 5 times out of osmosis. Am I correct? So that right there just puzzles me. Right? Then on top of that, how she had her people to basically contact. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting everybody's name right. So give me a second. The fact that Megan had her people to contact Kelsey and, basically tell Kelsey to move out of her, her residence because Kelsey had moved in with Meg, if you guys don't know, right? So she wanted her to move out of her residence, go get a place in Houston when Kelsey had already gave up, her actual residence, okay? And that's probably because she didn't really want anyone around her. Another thing I will defend Meg about as well is that didn't she lose her mom and her dad and like her grandmother? That puts you in a dark place too. I lost my father about 3 years ago, okay? And literally I stayed in my room and didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to talk to anybody. I'll see my phone ringing. I just wanted to be with me. Didn't go to work for a while. You know what I mean? Now I'm an entrepreneur, but I still didn't want to work around the house. I didn't want to, send any emails, didn't want to respond to emails. So I know that firsthand is that when you lose someone, that puts you in a different mindset as well. So consider all those things before, we go to judgment according to Meg, and how she was reacting to things. I don't think she's grimy and dirty just because of that. I'm a sweet, loving person. But when I need my space now, I'm over 40 something, I take that time to be with me. And sometimes you need that me time. And this whole situation that she had to deal with fragments that's still in her foot, she still has to live with that. Now she has no mom, no dad, no grandma to talk to. She's basically alone in this entertainment lifestyle. Now, these people that were in entertainment as well with her, she feels now, I can't trust nobody. Now, think from a mindset of that. Wouldn't you want to be by yourself and just basically get rid of everybody else around you? I would. You probably would as well. So that's why I brought that up, okay? He also talked about a firearms examiner that came out as well. And he said that this weapon that Tory had in his car was I want to get this right, a semi-automatic weapon. Okay. So the 5 times that he shot in Meg's direction was not an accident. He did that on purpose. And let's see here. It says also, he said also, when you pull this particular trigger, it's a 8.5 pounds of force that it needs to pull the trigger. And so each of the times that he pulled that trigger, he needed that 8.5 pounds of force to be able to do that. and he shot at her 5 times. I never knew it was 5 times. Did anybody else know that it was 5 times that's watching this particular video that I'm doing here on this channel? I didn't know it was 5 times. I thought maybe it was twice. So that was news to me. So thank you, Armon, for that as well, because I never knew the total amount of times that she was shot at. 5 times. That's crazy. And as a side note, too, I just, let me get rid of that. I just also saw something on Instagram, and this was a quote that Meg the Stallion made, and just to paraphrase it, it was something like to the effect that if she knew she was going to go through all of this that she's going through, right, that she would have rather him shot her those 5 times and just killed her. That really, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm gonna start tearing up right now. That really broke my heart, that another human being is feeling so low like that. So my prayers goes out to Meg. You know, I'm not saying she's perfect, you guys. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying Tory is perfect. I'm not saying Kelsey is perfect. None of us are. We just try to be the best us that we could be. But my heart completely goes out to her. And if everyone in here can go ahead and just put the prayer emoji, that will really, you know, touch me and really put that out in the universe for Meg, because no one wants to feel like that at all. No other human should feel like that. And with us just losing Twitch, you know, she's another big star. So you guys send prayers out to her, so she could be strong at this time, because she rather die now. That's what she's saying. You know, mental awareness is real. Okay? And it's not worth it for somebody else to take their life. Okay? And I'm not saying she's to that point yet, but to put it out there like that, she's letting you know how she's feeling. So let's say some prayers for her completely. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play some of this video. And one other thing I wanted to say too. Armon.
Tory Lanez shot him. She said what ended up happening. I'm this man comes right by you like this. She pretty much said.
Oh goodness. The joys of YouTube. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna turn that down. So just give me a second, you guys. I apologize. We was really getting to the good stuff. And there we go. Now they want to be bringing all these commercials. So let me skip that. Okay.
They got him. Kylie Jenner invited Meg and Kelsey.
Okay, so this is not the part that I want you guys to hear. So basically what he was saying, I'm going to try and get it to the point.
They come back and they make you feel like, well, damn. Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion.
You hear that?
Period.
Tory shot her.
Said that Tory Lanez shot him. She said what ended up happening. I'm this man comes right by you like this.
Okay, so you heard what he said. Kelsey admitted, and he's talking about the 80-minute audio. Kelsey admitted that Tory Lanez shot her. She admitted it in the audio. Okay, so we're gonna go to. Let's see.
Like standing kind of, you know, not over the window, not out the door, like kind of like leaning over the door, because the door.
Okay, so this is going to explain how the gunshot residue got on Kelsey and also on Tory, because Tory was in the passenger side like hanging over the door. And that's when he shot at Megan that was walking away. And Kelsey was behind him. So that's how the residue, the gunshot residue, got on both of them. Okay, because some people were asking that question.
And Kelsey said as she's like getting out, it's 5 gunshots. Boom, boom, boom. On the third gunshot, she looks over and she sees Tory Lanez shooting. On the fourth or fifth gunshot, or on the fourth gunshot, um, Megan Thee Stallion turns around and looks like a deer in headlights because she's realizing Tory
Armon, you
Lanez
look very
has
handsome
shot
too,
her,
bro.
and he's holding a gun or shooting at her. Then Meg, falls like it's the whole thing. She said everybody was just
Okay, so I'm going to stop it here. I want you guys to hear the other part.
response. So Kelsey like, I'm supposed to move right now?
So this is the part
Like, yes,
I was just telling you about, right? Where Meg's people contacted Kelsey and told her she needed to move and she needed to go back to Houston. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward that part.
Kelsey's like, well, I want to see what's going on with Megan Thee Stallion. I wonder, is Megan Thee Stallion okay?
Okay.
Kelsey goes to the narrative. Also, Megan Thee Stallion allowed Rock Nation to drive a wedge between her and Kelsey and push Kelsey out the picture. I don't know why. That's really interesting to me. Why Megan Thee Stallion?
Now, this is where me and Armand differ in opinion because he felt that Rock Nation contacting Kelsey to tell her to move out and basically wouldn't let Kelsey see Meg at the hospital was Megan putting that wedge in between her and her friendship with Kelsey. I feel personally that Megan at that time just needed to be by herself. Who can I trust between all these people? Right? I need to be with me. And I totally understand that. Okay. So, what I wanted you guys to hear was the part.
So then the defense came up and they was trying to debunk it. Now, Tory do have good lawyers. They were talking about, well, where would the gun casings be, the shells be? Then the
Okay,
defense
so
came up and they was trying.
this was about the
Like literally, Megan Thee Stallion stopped talking to Chelsea and let Rock Nation get rid of Chelsea and let whatever narrative, not even that serious, not that important. Megan Thee Stallion told her, bitch, are you serious? You got a lawyer? This is bullshit. Now, Megan Thee Stallion was upset because I did not want to do it on the internet. But I was advised by my
and
lawyer
that's what
not to
I had
do
talked
so.
about
And I had
too.
to get a lawyer because
That
she was not protecting me as
her
a
and
friend.
Meg fell
I
out
didn't
because
care
she didn't feel like
that
she
she
was
slept
being
with Tory
loyal.
Lanez.
She
I didn't
wouldn't get
care. Yeah, it
online.
was getting
Kelsey
me at
is who
her.
I'm talking
But
about.
what hurt me
And
more is
basically
that as my
say,
friend,
you know,
she
that
did
Tory
not
shot
clear
her
my
because of
name.
all of the backlash that Meg was getting at the time. Okay. So the part I'm trying to find is about the gun.
So then the defense came up and they was trying to debunk it. Now, Tory do have good lawyers. They were some of
Okay.
the situation. She was making it very general. So people thought it was Chelsea. They thought it was Tory. They moved. So this is, and so you just stopped talking to her until you wanted her to
I'm
come on
sorry, you
the
guys.
internet
Just
and
give me a
explain the
second.
story. And when I'm about to show you this Indian man name. Is my camera on here? Because I don't know what.
Okay, so this is
I'm just gonna show y'all
the firearms examiner. He's about to show you his name. What I talked about with the semi-automatic weapon. So I'm gonna play that for you guys so you can see that as well.
You can see that. That's the Indian man name. Smenisia Retia. Okay. That's the Indian man name right there. So apparently he is the firearms examiner. So he ends up telling us what a cartridge is versus a bullet in a bullet case. Okay, and telling us the difference between a fire bullet and a bullet cartridge and an automatic weapon and a semi-automatic weapon. Okay, now The weapon that was found in the car with Tory Lanez, we're gonna go live and talk about it on YouTube again, was a semi-automatic weapon. And with a semi-automatic weapon, we learned that there is no accidents when shooting a semi-automatic weapon. It was
You
5
hear that?
gunshots fired. The prosecution asked, can a person shoot 5 times on accident? The man said no. The man also said, they also asked, if you're tussling and grabbing, can the gun actually go off, accidentally go off? The man said no.
You hear that?
He said, in order for this gun, this particular gun, to go off, you need, let me see, 8.5 pounds of force to pull the trigger.
8.5.
All the way down and let it all the way up. And you would have to pull this trigger 5 times with 8.5 pounds of pressure. And so the man said, I cannot call this shooting an accident.
Hear that? Okay, so I'm going to stop it there.
This was intentional.
Because I don't want to go into any more of his content. But again, I will put the link so that you guys, down below, so you guys could check it out for yourself. But I found that very interesting. I don't know too much about guns, okay, other than what my uncle had taught me early on, and it was basically how you clean the guns. But as far as like bullets and casings and all of that type of stuff, I'm not familiar like that. And so to hear that it takes 8.5 pounds of force, I can't talk right now, 8.5 pounds of force each time that bullet was, that trigger was pulled, is crazy to me. And you have to remember, over this night, they were drinking and all that. So that just took a lot of control to be able to do that while you're intoxicated as well. I don't know if anybody ever thought about that part of it. But thank you, Armon Wiggins, for sharing this information for me. I found it very interesting and very poignant. And it gave me some information so that basically for me to understand everything, but also it really makes you aware of where is Kelsey going to be in all this when this trial is over, what else is going to be brought out. The fact that the implication is out there too about Meg, being this kind of hoe or whatever out there about her personal life. I don't like that either. As a dark-skinned woman, a chocolate woman, I like to say, a lot of times the implications are put out there that, we are women that are dark complected, so we don't have self-esteem about ourselves. And so therefore, we just get with anybody's man because we can't get our own man. It's just ridiculous. That's number one, where we have a lot of animosity, we are mean women, which is further from the truth. And so it's all of those colorist statements that I've been seeing online, on Instagram, on Facebook, and everywhere else that I wanted to address, because that is no further from the truth than my name is not Charlie. Okay. My name is Charlie, actually. But it's just crazy to me that what has been put out there. This is not a trial about Megan. This is a trial about Tory. Okay? The prosecution is making this trial about Tory and Tory's actions on that night. Stop making it about Megan. It's not about her. She was walking away to de-escalate the situation. She got out of the vehicle and was walking away. His feelings was hurt because what was mentioned is that they were having some type of altercation and talking about their careers. And Megan put down his career as a rapper, and that's what caused all of this. Okay. But yet and still, no matter what she said, did not give him the right to shoot at her. Period. So the fact that there's implications out there that because she was this kind of woman and she's that kind of woman and she was promiscuous and she was this and she was that, cut it out. We are too grown to have these type of conversations and to be posting these kind of statements and wrecking somebody's character because we want to. Too old, too grown. Okay? So watch how we speak about other people, especially people that we don't know. Because a lot of these people that are talking on Instagram, they don't know Meg personally. I don't know her personally. I'm just trying to put another narrative out there as to what Meg might be going through when going through this whole ordeal. Okay? So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you have any comments that you want to share, please put them in the comment section, and I'm definitely going to read each and every comment. But I definitely wanted to put this out here before the new week starts and the new things of the trial come out, new reports and whatnot, because I found this so informative. Thank you again, Armon. I hope you don't mind me using a little of your content to share on my channel, because I really found it the most informative. One thing that Armand stated as well is that by going by both sides, the defense and the prosecution, he really didn't know where the trial was going. He feels that Meg was shot by Tory. But at this point, he said when the prosecution would put something forward, he'd be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. When the defense will put something forward, he's like, oh, that's interesting too. So he doesn't know where it's going. And one thing that I found very interesting that he noted too in on his channel, on his show, is that it was one juror that he said kept coughing every time it was coming towards the prosecution, like really making a big statement in court, on Meg's behalf. This one juror just kept coughing on cue, he said, almost. And that was very interesting to him. That was very interesting to me as far as something that he said also on his show. So again, I'm going to put the link so you guys could check it out. Tell me what you thought of my commentary as well. And what you thought about what I shared with you about Armon on his show. And, make sure to subscribe to his channel as well. Subscribe to House of Aaron. Subscribe to Rodney the Voice. Subscribe to King of Reeds. Subscribe to Kempire. Quentin, aka Funky Dineva. Jason Lee, DJ Richie Sky. If you haven't subscribed to any of those brothers yet, go ahead and subscribe to them, because they're really doing their thing. And this is where I want to go. It's where they're at right now. And make my channel big like that. So thank you guys for all your amazing content. And I hope that at some point, if not now, I'll be able to get my content to that level as well. So you guys have an amazing Sunday and stay blessed, stay safe. And until next time, your girl Charlie is out.